For those who don't know me, I'm a bit of a gamer. Might not even say an epic gamer. Yeah, ladies, calm down, I'm taken. My favorite game at the moment is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but if you were to ask me 4 or 5 years ago, I would definitely say Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. And yes, I would say the full title. I remember vividly getting this game. I was at GameStop with my dad, and I didn't have an Xbox One at the time, so I was stuck with the past generation Naruto games. Couldn't find the Naruto games for some reason, but my dad went to the counter and asked, "Hey, do you guys have any Naruto games?" And of course, middle school me was super embarrassed. "Oh, Dad, his name is Naruto. You wouldn't get it." Remember my last video where I talked about Shonen Jump manga being successful and getting anime adaptations? Well, you know a series is really balling when they have a game adaptation. Most successful series, depending on what the premise is, will most likely get a game adaptation. Let's take Dragon Ball, one of the most successful series in Weekly Shonen Jump, and with a lot of game adaptations, I can tell you for a fact that I've beaten Frieza at least 10 different times across 10 different games of Dragon Ball, and there's like 50 plus games, man. Most of these Weekly Shonen Jump games are fighting games, try to closely resemble what is done within the anime or manga. When there's a lot of games being developed to capitalize off these popular shows, you get a lot of garbage. And I mean a lot of garbage. Let's talk about different series and how these games evolved over the years. I'm mainly going to talk about the games that I've played personally. And again, if you don't agree with my opinion, I really don't care. Starting off with Dragon Ball games, my first Dragon Ball game was Dragon Ball Z Budokai. It was released in 2002, and by this time, the last arc, heavy quotes on last, was being aired in America, so it only covers the first two arcs of the show. I played the game with my brother a lot, and a couple of years later, I got my own copy on my white PS2. I remember it having such good graphics, and I don't know, they were crystal clear, and the game looks terrible now. It sucks. And of course, games look differently now because of different hardware and different softwares being developed and whatnot. I'm not going to get completely into that because I'm not an expert, but I remember this game being really easy to pick up and very replayable. I spent hours on this game, man. Hours. Now, this is quite the opposite. Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2 are nearly identical games. I remember getting the first game, beating it, and feeling a completely empty void knowing I just beat a semi good game within a couple of days. So when the second game came out, I just knew I had to get it. I was wrong. Xenoverse 2 is a game that unfortunately is still being supported today. I put in a lot of hours in this game because my friend was really into it, which led my friend group to play the whole game too. This was a terrible cash grab that takes advantage of the series' loyal fans. I should know I own both copies. This game has the exact same feeling from the first game and the exact same plot. You're the new guy in town who has to correct the Dragon Ball timeline. I knew they were sucking the money out of my pockets, but I definitely ate that shit up. Although the game is really hard to learn and extremely janky, the game was super fun to play. I would do anything to do a 6-man mission or a 3v3 with my friends again. If I had to give this game a rating, I'd give it a 2 out of 10 because I despise the level where you have to fight Frieza and Cooler at the same time. It's absolute torture. Like, I know there's like real torture out there, but then this counts as one of them. Dragon Ball FighterZ is a 2D Street Fighter style game. It's really hard to learn and the meta is terrible. I hate this game. 1 out of 10. Next, please. Dragon Ball Kakarot is another game that I played recently, and it took me a while to finish. It goes through the entirety of the Dragon Ball series, and it does it with great detail. Most people were expecting another Xenoverse installment, but those people are currently behind bars and do not deserve to roam this earth. I thought the visuals for the game were really appealing and flashy when they needed to be, while sticking to the source material. This game was a bit easy overall, and one of the better games that I've played. 8 out of 10. My first Naruto game was Naruto The Broken Bond for Xbox 360. I played this game a lot, and the story was more oriented between the arc after Itachi came to the village and the final battle between Naruto and Sasuke. Although it's an older game, I did like the story and how easy it was to play. I only got stuck towards the very end, but I got the game done, so that's the most important thing. 7 out of 10. Okay, okay. Hot take right here. Naruto Storm 1 is not a very good Storm game, in my opinion.
Down! You calm the fuck down!
I understand why people like it, but compared to the newer installments, it's a piece of garbage. I expected the free roam to be completely different from what people were hyping it up to be. I thought this was like revolutionary gameplay, but it's not. It's really not. I had trouble climbing up the buildings, and you need to go on top of the buildings to meet certain people for missions, and it's not fun. It's a bit hard to play now, especially with how hard it is to progress in the game, but it's not completely terrible. Who am I kidding? This game is like the worst Storm game ever. 3 out of 10. The next game is Naruto Ninja Storm 3. It's my favorite Storm game. I played it when I was at my peak Naruto craze. I thought this game was the most beautiful, masterful piece of work I ever created, but playing it now, it's just okay. I had a copy of it on my 360, but it's now living at my ex-girlfriend's house. But I got a copy on my Switch, and it's not bad, but I don't know. I like it, but I expected it to be better. You know, I already played it, but never mind. The game starts right before the Ninja War, but it ends right at the start of it. So it leaves a bit of suspense after you finish it. You were able to travel through different villages, which I thought was really cool to do. But I never played this game online, but I did get a lot of hours out of it. 8 out of 10. Now this piece of fine work, this is where the Naruto Storm series hit its peak. And that's not opinion, that's a fact. This covers where the Storm series left off in Storm 3 and up until the rest of the series. There was a game in between called Storm Revolution, but that was just a filler game until we got the momentous title, the heavenly title, the greatest title, Storm 4. It was released in 2016 and still has a die-hard community today. And if somebody asks you, hey, do you want to play the best anime game that ever exists? Your mind is supposed to go to Storm 4. Everybody has Storm 4. Storm 4 doesn't look any different from the previous installments, but people consider this the definitive way to play Naruto. And then they go on and release this garbage. Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker is the most recent title for console Naruto games. It's like a Naruto version of Dragon Ball Z Universe where you create your own character and go on missions with already existing characters. On paper, this game is supposed to be really fun. But in reality, this game is lackluster. It feels so dry and there's nothing much to do in the game. Once you beat the story in a couple of hours, there's nothing to do after that. And I mean nothing. Like absolutely nothing. I hate this game because it feels like a beta. I paid $60. 60 smackaroos for a game that feels so dead. I hate this game. It's a 0 out of 10. I hate it so much. We saved the best for last, everyone. My Hero wants justice, and My Hero wants justice too. They're the exact same game. I have both, and you may be wondering why, since they're the same game. You're just giving Bandai Namco all your money. Yes, I am. And I'm going to continue doing it because it has Deku on the front. And if you told me you were trying to sell me a bag of air, I wouldn't buy it. But if it had Deku on the front of it, boy, give me 3 of them. The only difference between the two games are the story modes and a little flip mechanic in the second one. The first one covers the second season up until the third season, and the second game covers the very last episode of the third season and part of the fourth season. Both games can be beaten and played within a day, which disappointed me because I paid $60 for both games, when realistically it could have been made in one larger game. This game is pretty easy to play and get good at, but you have very little reason to replay it. This game gets an 11 out of 10 because it's My Hero Academia and I love this show. If it was anything else, I would probably hate it, but it has Deku on the cover. Now, this is the very, very last game I'm going to talk about. Jump Force. It's bad. Easily the worst game I've ever played. That's it. 0 out of 10. When playing these types of games, you get a lot of content that's hit or miss, but people will still tend to enjoy them despite the poor reviews or the wonky mechanics or the bad meta. I think people should play what they enjoy and understand that people enjoy these games for different reasons. But if you like Jump Force, you're gross and you need to take a shower, you smell, go outside.